Hi, I'm Tom Russell with Furniture Today, and I am here with Steve Lush, President of Kuka Home North America.
Yes, thanks, Tom.
Steve, thank you so much for taking time, a special trip down to Mexico
Absolutely.
to spend with us to see Kuka Home's brand new production facility here just north of Monterrey.
Yep, it's a pleasure to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the facility here, we are exactly 45 minutes north of Monterrey.
Okay.
We like this location. We're about 8 kilometers from Interstate 85, which is the direct link to the U.S. border in Laredo, which is about 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
So a very convenient location.
Sure, very much so. And how long has this been in the planning stages, would you say? Do you have an idea?
It's actually been part of our long-term strategic plan, really, for several years now. We
Yeah.
started planning this. And the first step was our Vietnam facility, which produces motion. And the second step was the Mexico factory. And the idea behind Mexico is to supply special orders to our U.S. customers with fast turnaround.
Yes.
Now, we presently do special orders out of China with 12 to 14 week delivery. It's a fairly large percentage of our business, but a lot of our key customers have told us if we want to continue to grow with them as we have in the past, it's critical that we supply custom order at a much faster turnaround. So our plan here is initially 4 to 5 week turnaround on custom orders and eventually get that down to 4 weeks, door to door.
Boy, that's going to be a huge game changer for you folks, it sounds like.
It really is, and it's a matter of diversifying our manufacturing base. This isn't it really is to supplement what we're doing in China, certainly not to replace anything we're doing there. Really, it's a different end consumer that is looking for fast special orders. So we see it as this is just kind of a nice add-on business to what we already do.
Sure. And Mexico, we know for years has been an important resource for the U.S. market. I mean, there's companies that have been down here for a number of years, certainly a large base of Mexican manufacturing as well in areas from Tijuana to Guadalajara, Puebla, Monterrey, certainly. But this is an interesting scenario because in this area, you're going to have to recruit workers. Has that process started yet?
No, it has, and it is a unique situation here. It's not a border town, as you know, and we like the fact that it's a good workforce and a very stable workforce here. It's 5 million population in the city of Monterrey. Highly skilled workers, not necessarily skilled in furniture cutting and sewing and that type of thing. So there will be training involved. We've already started the process. We've been working with the Nuevo Leon government. They have trade schools. Quite a few in the area, and they have committed to helping us with specialized training programs to help train workers in the art of cutting and sewing and frame knock-up and that type of thing. Wow. And also on top of that, we will be starting with quite a few skilled workers from China, especially in the cutting and the sewing part, and they'll be providing on-the-job training then for the Mexican labor force as well.
So will these people that are going to be doing the training, are they going to be here just for a short period of time and then eventually they'll be sort of like Mexican line management, or how is that going to work?
Both. There will always be a certain number of China management here.
Yes.
We figure 20 to 30. Initially we'll have about 200 employees.
Yes.
20 or 30 will be from China, and it'll be some of the line managers, the plant manager, but we'll also have managers from Mexico as well, and they'll work together. It's similar to what we've done in Vietnam, and it's worked very well there.
Yes. Now, this is a pretty interesting process. Communication is always an issue wherever, particularly when you're dealing with like companies, for example, from China going into Vietnam. Now we have China going into Mexico. I'm guessing that the Chinese trainers and line managers are bilingual.
Yes, yeah, that's a requirement. They have to be.
Oh my gosh.
But a lot of the meetings I've sat through have to be in 3 different languages.
Yes.
You know, Chinese and Mexican, and of course, English. So meetings take 2 or 3 times longer than normal. But yeah, the people we'll be sending have to be bilingual. That's a requirement.
Was there anything about the culture of Mexico that is different than the culture of the Chinese workforce, for example? Say like, we hear that like there's sometimes a clash of cultures like between Vietnam and China that can sometimes lead to strikes and things of that nature. Is there anything about Mexico that you've been kind of studying or being prepared for as you have this melding of two cultures?
Well, one thing we've been very impressed with is just the work ethic here in the Mexico factories.
Yes.
Like very impressed with the rate of the work and the attention to detail. So we feel, in China we have a highly disciplined workforce, but we feel that the two cultures will merge together pretty well here.
Because of that work ethic.
Yes, that's one of the main things that attracted us to Mexico is that strong work ethic, and attention to detail, which is very important because,
especially with custom.
Well, for sure, and it's very important that we maintain the same exact standards that we have at our facilities in China. That's critical.
Yes.
So attention to detail and quality assurance is very important for us.
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to kind of take to get the Mexican workforce up to speed? I mean, is this a matter of a few months or 6 months? I mean, how long?
We anticipate 3 to 6 months to get it up to speed. Yeah, that's one of the reasons for starting out very small. And literally have 2 different customers that we're doing kind of a pilot program with. Existing product that we're already running through the China plant.
Yes.
And with limited cover selections, no show wood, fabric only. So start small. And then as we ramp up and as the workers gain experience and gain their skills that are necessary, then we'll slowly add additional customers and additional models. And we would look by October market and High Point, we'll launch a collection specifically for Mexico that'll be separate from the China product line. But slowly ramping up, so again, 3 to 6 months is what we anticipate that transition to be.
Now, when you show this product at the October market, this big launch, is it going to be able to be viewed by all customers pretty much? Because you're starting out with like 2 pilot kind of customers that will eventually base will grow over time. So by October, you'll feel confident enough to be able to show what's coming out of Mexico, so more customers.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't make sense for every one of our customers, but certainly a large segment it would be. And it would be middle to upper middle price ranges.
Tell us a little bit about the price, the product that will be coming out of here, price-wise, and you told us a little bit about the format or what the SKU will kind of look like, not with wood frames, etc. But tell us a little bit about the price point.
Yeah, we're starting with pretty basic frames, ones that we already produced, and they would be in the, say, landed $350 to $400 range, 4 1/4 for a fabric sofa. Sure. And then leather is anywhere from $500 to $650, depending on the grade that we use. So that's kind of our sweet spot.
Sure.
So
retails on those would be
roughly double.
Double, okay. All right.
And so it would be for those middle, upper middle dealers, ones that do enough special orders where they can flow trucks consistently, full truckloads out of Mexico. So it wouldn't be for everybody, but it would be for a large segment of our customers.
Now, we first wrote about this, I think it was like in the third quarter sometime of last year. Powell Slaughter kind of broke the story and gave our readers the opportunity to learn a little bit about what you're doing. Have you had any inquiries?
We've had a lot of inquiries.
I bet.
Yeah. And we've been very measured into who we've been sitting down and talking with on this. Again, we don't want to get out ahead of ourselves on this. Sure. But we have dozens of dealers that are ready to sign on. Some are waiting to see. Let's wait and get the first production runs going and then see. But so I would anticipate by the end of the year we'll have quite a few dealers on board. But the interest has been tremendous.
Will you, over time, and we don't know what's going to happen with tariffs, but if tariffs do eventually go away or ease into the background more so than they are now, will this facility still remain competitive with China from kind of a pricing standpoint? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good question, and the whole process started way before the tariff was even mentioned.
Oh, I see.
And both in Vietnam and Mexico. It's just, our strategy was to be more of a global manufacturer. Yes. So it really wasn't all about tariffs. It certainly helps now.
It does.
As a lot of retailers are looking to kind of manage that risk of where the supply chain is coming from. So in the short term, the value proposition is there because we don't have the tariff to worry about. But long term, absolutely. This is a long-term deal for us. It's a huge investment over the long term. And the value proposition might change slightly, but still will be a tremendous value coming out of here, even if the tariffs go away altogether. which there's no telling what's going to happen there.
Well, there's got to be some added value when you look at that speed to market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 4 weeks, getting down to 4 weeks from about 12
Yep.
out of China with special order. Seems like this will be your special order hub.
That's the value. If we can provide Kuka design,
Yes.
you know, the quality, the style, with 4 week to 5 week turnaround, all at really good values, that's the important part.
People, I think it sounds like people will pay for that, even if it's maybe a slight premium, perhaps.
Yeah, and when we talk to most of our retailers, I think most are willing, consumers, to pay a slight premium, not a lot.
Right.
You know, 5-10%, you know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
You can't get much more above that
Sure,
and be a
sure.
value. But yeah, so and we anticipate to always be in that range. We'll be very close to what we're doing out of China, or very slightly higher,
Yeah.
but still an excellent value.
One of the things I'd like you to talk a little bit about, Steve, is the actual fabrics, the fabric production. So tell us a little bit what that's going to look like here.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked that, are we doing the cut and sew in China and sending it here? Well, that clearly wouldn't work for, you know, a 4 to 5 week turnaround. So all the cutting and sewing will be done here. Yeah. We're working with several U.S. mills. They'll be inventorying rolls of fabric in their warehouses, and we'll keep a large supply here as well.
Okay.
So all the cutting and sewing will be done right here in our factory.
I see. Okay. So that's a key ingredient in the speed to market.
Absolutely.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Very good. I thank you. Well, I think that pretty much covers the discussion up to this point. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens and how it materializes. And I know our upholstery editor, Powell Slaughter, will continue to view this as it develops, but it's a great opportunity for us to be here. Thank you again. And,
thank you, Tom. The next few months could be very exciting here. We've got lots, you know, finishing the factory and doing the initial quality audits with our key, you know, retailers, and then ramping up production. A lot's going to happen in the next 6 months, so we're really excited.
Sure. And you were showing me too some of the area with the where the trucks are going to ship out. I mean, this is going to ship out directly from this facility. There'll be, I guess, some limited kind of warehousing, but really as a special order.
Off the line and right out. Yep.
Yes, out the door. So very good. Again, thank you, and we look forward to hearing more.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Tom Russell with Furniture Today. I'm here with Steve Lush, President of Kuka Home North America. Thank you so much, Steve, for being with us today. And
thank you, Tom. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. We're here at sort of an exciting time for Kuka Home's history here in North America. You're developing your latest, making your latest investment in Mexico, just north of Monterrey.
Yes, and you know, part of our long-term strategy is to become more of a global manufacturer.
Yes.
We have, as you know, 6 large facilities in China. We recently opened Vietnam, and this will be our latest facility. And we'll be doing primarily special orders out of this factory for our U.S. customers.
Yes. Yeah. So very good. And right now, when do you expect to start production? Did you say May?
In May, yes. Yep.
And
we're going to start out small.
Yeah.
With just 2 existing customers, doing existing product first.
Yeah.
It's already in the line.
Yeah.
We'll start out small, around 30 to 40 truckloads a month would be the maximum that we plan on doing this year. And as we ramp up, we'll slowly add additional customers. Yeah. And then by October market, we'll introduce a product line specifically for the Mexico factory.
Great, very good. Well, let's walk over and see. It's still under construction, but that's why we're dressed like we are. We got our safety vests on and our hard hats. So Kuka has taken all the necessary precautions to keep us safe in this construction environment.
And there is a lot going on here, as you can see. This is a major development going in here. We're one of the first tenants to sign on here.
Wow.
My name is Leonardo Osa. I'm an architect. I'm construction project manager. I'm in charge of the construction. I belong to Axioma Company. Hofus hired us as a team to be in charge to take care of the investment of the client in the site.
When did construction start?
We start in 2017, and the legal tramits and all the government project reviews and feasibilities start in 2016.
Oh, I see.
So the park had 4 years to start.
Okay.
They started in 2016.
And when did ground break on the Kuka building?
In November.
November, okay.
15, around that.
Okay, so 2019.
Oh, the October we start with earthworks, but the structure and the old concrete started in November.
Okay, that's good.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? That
Yes.
since November, that's
I know.
coming.
It's
November,
impressive.
December, January.
You guys work
3
quick.
months. 3 months.
Very good.
Yeah, how large is your site? Do you know?
Well, initially we have 130,000 square feet.
Yes.
We can expand to 750,000 square feet.
Okay. Wow.
And that would be over the next 5 years as we ramp up production, add customers, and add product.
Sure.
We will
Wow.
slowly expand the size of the footprint here.
Yeah.
But initially we'll have about 200 workers. Everything is being done here, so cutting and sewing, everything will be done on site, frame knock up, everything. That's all handled here.
And that doesn't always happen with production facilities. Sometimes you see cut and sew off-site and shipped to the production facility.
Yes, and we felt it was cleaner and easier to do it all here.
Yes.
We will start with some of our skilled Chinese workers will come to help
Okay.
initially. And during that time, they'll be doing the bulk of the cutting and sewing and then training people on the job as they go along.
Yeah.
So then by the end of the year, we expect to have our Mexican labor force up and running,
Wow.
doing the skilled labor part.
Very good. Very good. So as you can see, this is a work in progress, but they've made a lot of progress. When did they actually start construction on
I'm not
this?
sure when they broke ground on this. I was here 6 months ago and it hadn't started yet.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
this is going up fast.
Yes.
And the building itself is almost complete at this point, and
Yeah.
all the equipment is ready to be moved in. It's all being stored off-site.
I see.
And it's a unique development. I know we had talked briefly about it, but Hafusan is a joint venture between 2 Chinese VC funds, one of which is actually based in Hangzhou, which is our corporate headquarters, and a Mexican family here.
I
So
see.
it's kind of a unique venture between China and Mexico.
Sure.
In the past, there hasn't been a lot of Chinese investment here in Mexico.
Right.
It's been primarily South Korea, some Japan, a lot of U.S. investment here, obviously. So they're actively going after more China investment, and this is a big
Yes.
part of that strategy.
Interesting.
And as you can see, it's a beautiful facility.
Oh, yeah, so it's just so bright. A lot of natural light coming in here too. I mean, you can see the windows, and are they going to have like ceiling, like basically lights, or not lights, but basically the light will come down from the ceiling?
Yes,
or they
yeah, all
gonna-
natural light,
Wow,
which aids in production for sure.
sure, yeah. Oh yeah, this is going to be pretty.
So what we're seeing here, this is 130,000 square feet.
Okay.
And we have room to go out that way
Yes.
to continue. We can triple the size, actually quadruple the size of it.
Wow. That is a huge step for Kuka Home.
Yeah,
that's for
it
sure.
really is.
Yeah. And what type of kind of price points will you be hitting here, say compared to like what you have in China? And
That's a good question.
Vietnam?
Initially, what our target is to be the same here, landed to landed, and all in with tariff included and everything, exactly the same as what we would do out of China.
Oh, okay.
So let's say that a sofa costs, say, $350 landed
Yeah.
with tariff and everything. It'd be exactly $350 landed here as well.
So we talking maybe $799 sofa or
Yeah,
somewhere in that
yeah.
rim? Yeah.
That would be, I mean, our sweet spot is, for fabric sofas in the $599 to $799 range. Leather sofas $999 to $1299.
Yes. Now you will eventually be doing leather here.
We
as
will.
well?
We're starting out with fabric only,
Yeah.
simpler designs, no show wood,
Okay.
and then we will slowly add. And we anticipate by 2021 to start with leather and show wood.
Oh,
We'll
cool.
have finishing capabilities here as well.
Excellent. Yeah,
But initially, we're going to start just with fabric, a little bit easier to start out.
Sure. And the workers are being trained locally, or are they going to be? They'll be trained on site, I guess. But
There's actually technical schools here in Nuevo Leon, and the government actually is helping us to design training programs for the workers.
wow.
There is a skilled labor force here in Monterrey, but not so much with skilled in actual furniture cut and sew or frame knock-up or that type of thing. So the government's been very active in helping us to design custom training programs in their trade schools that would teach people over a 3 to 4 month course of how to cut and sew and that type of thing.
Excellent. Yeah. So you'll be able to ramp up pretty quickly
Yes.
with that support, it sounds like.
And we will start with a lot of our Chinese skilled workers will be here initially, and then they can actually help do on-the-job training for the Mexican labor force as well.
Now, how many Chinese kind of trainees or line management, I guess you might call it, will you have coming in initially? Do you think you have any sense of that yet?
I don't have a sense of it. I would guess 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So we'll have 200 employees total here.
Yeah.
And if, I would anticipate 20 to 30.
Interesting. Very good. Very good.
This really is beautiful space. Isn't
It is really something else.
I mean, we were so impressed when we came here back in the summer and saw some of the existing buildings. But
do you know how many acres or hectares it is offhand?
Joe
I'm just
would know.
curious.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
8.5 million square meters.
8.5 million.
What does that translate into acres? It's a
I'll
lot.
have to do the math when I get back. So 8.5
million
million.
square meters.
But under roof, eventually it'll be 750. Did you say?
Yes, yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, we
starting out with 130.
Starting 130, 200 workers
Yeah.
over the course of 4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
expand to 750,000 square feet
Yeah.
and up to 600 or 700 workers.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.